There's been tension building for months, for years, and today it's finally going to come to a head. A vacant lot, a few sick shooters, and a few dead bodies will solve all of this. Heyo, and welcome to another episode of The Darchives, where we tell serious history not so seriously. I'm Jamie talking to Leo.
And I'm Leo listening to Jamie.
And this week, in celebration of our official year mark...
Yes, episode 52.
Snaps and claps to us. It's been a year.
Ow. Thank you for everybody who's been hanging out for this whole time, because there's a few of you for sure that have been around since very early on, so we appreciate you guys.
Hell yeah.
And for all of our newbies that have joined, welcome, and...
hang out for a year with us. See what we do for our 2 year. Well, for our 1 year, I wanted to tell a story that I thoroughly enjoy. And Leo, I know you're a fan of this too. Today, we are discussing the shootout at the OK Corral.
Hell yeah, little Wyatt Earp and Doc Holliday action.
Doc Holliday, my man, my baby. Yes.
Yeah, is this an actual history of Tombstone? Or is this just you finding reasons to gush over Val Kilmer as Doc Holliday?
It's a solid mix of both.
Do you actually have Val Kilmer facts in there or something?
No.
Okay.
No, but I will be referencing the movie so much, not as a historical source, but as a fucking hell, what a banger of a movie.
Oh yeah, that movie is the best Western ever made. And if you don't agree with me,
you're wrong.
come at me.
You're
Prove
wrong.
me wrong. Give me a better Western than Tombstone.
You can't. Tombstone is the greatest cinematic masterpiece to ever bless us in this world.
Western.
No.
All right, I don't agree with that comment, but we agree that it's the best Western, right?
I can definitely agree with that.
Okay. With that fact out of the way,
Yes, sir.
where are we starting on this journey to the shootout on the OK Corral?
We are starting in 1877 with a man named Ed Sheffelin who was looking for wealth. He was exploring the area near the former Chiricahua Reservation. He joined scouting parties and even went out by himself, but each time he found nothing of note. It actually soon became something of a joke that the only thing he would find out in those hills was his tombstone. Eventually, he did find something pretty substantial though, and that was silver. What started as a tent community quickly turned into a town, with the silver making them up to $50,000 a month for the next 2 years.
Yeah, and that's $50,000 a month in 1800s money, yeah?
No, that's in today's money.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, those boys were rich.
Well, I mean, even still today, $50K a month is fucking crazy, yeah?
Yeah, it's good. Pulling out of a mine, yeah.
Going with what you were saying, that's a lot of money. Contrary to the idea of like that rough and tumble, super gritty, dirty Western town that we think of when we think of the American West, Tombstone was actually considered to be like a pretty sophisticated and wealthy town.
Yeah, I'm sure there were the rough and tumble kind of guys that were actually out there making the money.
Yeah.
When real workhorse kind of men go and make a large amount of money, they like to spend it as fast as they get it.
Yeah, well, which
is great for business.
Great for business and sophisticated in terms of the 1870s. There were plenty of gambling halls, saloons, things like that. It wasn't glamour. It was just wealthy. After the shootout that we're going to get into, the town actually got a lot of modern amenities fairly quickly after this event, like just within the next few years. They got telephones, they established like a legitimate baseball team, and they even had the first swimming pool in Arizona.
Wow.
Yeah. However, political tension, greed, and I'll say a little bit of crime turned this city into one of the most famous of the American West in the span of 24 hours. Before we get into the actual event, we're going to lay out our key players here. The first that we are going to discuss are the Earps, brothers Wyatt, Virgil, and Morgan. The first brother that we're going to discuss is Virgil Earp. He was born the second son of Nicholas and Virginia Ann Earp in 1843. When he was just 17 years old, he eloped with a woman named Magdalena Ellen Rysdam. The very next year, he went off to join the Union Army in the Civil War. 2 weeks before he left for the war, his only child, a daughter named Nellie Jane Earp, was born. Somehow, not quite able to pin down how, but somehow during his absence, his wife received word that he had died. So she pretty quickly remarried and moved with her daughter and new husband to the Oregon Territory.
Lost your wife and your daughter just like that.
Yeah, and she thought she had lost her husband and baby daddy.
Yeah.
Not a good miscommunication by the government. Virgil returned home after the war only to find his wife and daughter gone. So he moved to San Bernardino, California, where the rest of his family was living. Though it's likely he found out eventually where they had gone, he never went to find them.
Honestly, I wouldn't either. You got married, she's doing her own thing. They're being taken care of.
Yeah. And it's also like not clear if he came back and thought maybe she had just left him, or if he found out later that she thought he had died. So
yeah. And let me just be clear. I would have done the same thing back in the 1800s.
Oh, fuck yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I can't jump on a plane and go fly out. I can't call somebody on a phone.
Yeah.
I'm not going to Oregon and trying to figure out where the fuck she lives and
yeah.
who she hanging with and rip my daughter away from whatever stability she has. I don't know. Back in those days, I think it either worked or it didn't, and people didn't live long enough for you to go running around crazy. Yeah,
yeah, exactly.
It's either working or it's not.
Yeah. Virgil moved around a lot after this and took various lovers, wives, though they didn't work out, and different jobs, though he was most often working as a lawman. 1877, Virgil was in Dodge City with little brother Wyatt, and from there he traveled to Arizona. 1879, he was appointed as a U.S. Deputy Marshal for the Arizona Territory, and from there he went to Tombstone with Wyatt. Less than a year later, he was already acting as the town marshal. So he's a lawman through and through.
Yeah, Virgil likes the law.
Mm-hmm. Next brother, Wyatt was born in 1848, the third of 5 brothers. As a teen, Wyatt constantly tried to run away and join 3 of his brothers who were in the Civil War. Each time, though, he was caught and returned home. He worked as a freight hauler and a railway track grader before he became a local constable in Missouri when he was around 21 years old. Early 1870, Wyatt married a woman named Urilla, but she died from typhoid that same year. So he packed up, sold his home, and moved to the Indian Territory, which is like in present-day Oklahoma, and later to Kansas. During this time, he did the normal Western stuff that we think of, like saloons, gambling houses, brothels. But while in Wichita, Kansas, he helped officers locate a wagon thief, and after this, he decided to join the police force in 1875. From here, he would go on to become the deputy town marshal of Dodge City in Kansas. While here, he met a man named Doc Holliday. Doc Holliday.
Yup. That's funny. I didn't know that Wyatt met Doc when he was in his 30s.
Yeah.
They met a little bit later.
Yeah. Besties. Besties can meet at any time, you know?
It's true.
Mm-hmm. In 1879, he left Dodge City to set off for Tombstone with his longtime companion, Mattie Blaylock. The final Earp brother is Morgan Earp. He was born in 1851. When he was around 13, in 1864, his family moved to San Bernardino, and he would also eventually join Wyatt in Dodge City, where he married a woman named Louisa Houston. The married couple moved to Butte, Montana, where Morgan served as a marshal. So we got a lot of lawmen in this family.
Yep. Everybody's a lawman.
Mm-hmm. In 1879, he moved to Arizona, where he was appointed the sheriff of Pima County. In 1880, he moved to Tombstone, where he met up and worked with his brothers, Virgil and Wyatt. Doc Holliday,
Here it comes.
my soulmate, my love,
Put a towel under.
my badass.
Is that too grody?
Mic dropping, banging quote, man. Doc Holliday. John Henry, Doc Holliday, was born in 1851 to Henry and Alicia Holliday.
I was actually asking you if that was too much.
No. No, because you're right. He was an extremely celebrated baby because the couple's first baby had died just a year before Doc was born. He was born with a cleft palate, but was able to have the surgery to correct it. This unfortunately did leave him with a bit of a speech issue, a speech impediment. So his mother took great care in correcting his speech and teaching him the Southern manners and etiquette that he would be known for during his life.
A gentleman through and through.
Southern gentleman.
And a doctor.
And a badass.
He was a dentist.
And a gambler. And I'm assuming a love-making machine. My little TB-ridden soulmate. He was a very intelligent boy, and in 1870, he attended the dental school in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. He graduated and originally moved back down to the South where he was born, but it seems pretty, quickly moved to Dallas, Texas. The exact reasoning for his abrupt move is kind of unknown, but it's widely believed that he moved there after he contracted tuberculosis because he thought the dry air would help with this condition. By the mid-1870s, he had developed a reputation for being a card player and a fighter and, kind of a bad boy. He escaped a murder charge in Dallas, and from there he went to Dodge City where he met Wyatt, and he would go on to follow Wyatt all the way to Tombstone.
Yeah, I guess when you're running from the law, hanging with a lawman.
Makes for a good move.
Yeah. Make friends with the sheriff so you don't get arrested, I guess, in another town.
Yeah. Those are the boys on one side of this fight. The other side of this fight involves the Cowboys. The Clanton and the McLaury families, they are the Cowboys. Information on these men is pretty scarce because they're mostly known for this shootout. So most things give very, very brief backgrounds, and then it's all about the shootout. The Clantons were something of a clan, and their name became synonymous with cattle rustling, horse thieving, ambushing, and murder. Nothing good.
All around bad guys.
Bad boys. Ike Clanton was the leader of sorts of this, and he was born in 1847 as Joseph Isaac Clanton. His little brother Billy was born in 1862. They moved to Fort Bowie, Arizona in 1865, and they kind of moved around a little bit before settling near Charleston, Arizona, which is just about 9 miles or 14 kilometers northeast of Tombstone. Next are the McLaury brothers, Frank and Tom. Frank was born the 8th of 11 children, and Tom was born the 10th. Poor mom.
They'd be popping them out back then.
Yup.
It wasn't a guarantee you'd live long, so you got to make a bunch to keep the bloodline going.
Exactly.
Nowadays, we're basically pandas.
Yeah, well, maybe have one if you guys are lucky.
Yeah, maybe.
Their family moved from New York to Arizona, where the brothers met the Clantons. The McLaury brothers wanted to be legitimate ranchers, but along the way, they ended up working both the black market side of things and the legitimate side of things.
They just made money where they could.
Exactly. Now, with the main characters laid out, let's get into actually what happened leading up to this shootout. It is 1880, and tensions are beginning to build. The Earps, who were backed by Mayor John Clum, tried to keep the townspeople and the business owners in mind, while the Clantons, who were backed by Sheriff Johnny Behan, were more invested in the interests of themselves and cowboys like them, while also thinking of the more rural ranchers.
You mean the ones that they could steal from?
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
We're looking out for the little guy. All their horses are going missing.
It's funny
Wink, wink.
it's actually funny that you say that, because at this time, Cowboys was used as kind of like a derogatory term, right? It's not the cowboys that we picture now. It was a term that most frequently referred to outlaws.
Well, what I know about cowboys, the only thing that I could think of for it being a derogatory term back in the day, and maybe ended up getting adopted by outlaws or being used for outlaws too, is I know that black cattlemen were called cowboys. It's a bit of that boy thing, from slavery and all that jazz.
Yeah.
When slaves were freed and they went to go work on ranches as ranch hands throughout the West, I think they called them cowmen and cowboys, or cattlemen and cowboys when it started.
You are right on that. I don't know so much about the black cowboy history, but I do know that in this part of Arizona is where we see cowboy being used as more of an insult. So it's kind of like a region-specific thing.
Yeah, well, I mean, black cowboys went all the way from Texas up to Montana.
Yeah, totally. It's just this particular area is where we see cowboy being used as kind of like another word for outlaw.
Okay.
So it was very region specific, but all this to say is the cowboys are being called the criminals in this event, this story.
Yeah, I always assumed the gang was called the Cowboys. Like they called themselves the Cowboys.
No, it's super weird how it was localized to this little area that Cowboys was used like this.
Okay.
The obvious disagreements and confrontations that would come from criminals and lawmen clashing were happening here, and the town was completely divided. Half of them backed the Earps, and the other half backed the Clantons and McLaurys. Like, it was very much a divided town, even all the way up in the political powers. In July of 1880, Virgil had deputized Wyatt and Morgan to help him locate 6 army mules that had been taken. These mules were later found at Frank and Tom McLaurys' ranch. This would be the start of the feud between them. Late October of that same year, just after midnight, gunshots rang out in the streets. A small group ran out and formed to see what was happening, and this included Wyatt and Morgan. And there in the street, they found a group of cowboys who were just shooting up at the moon. Just standing out in the middle of the streets, pistols blazing.
Just boys being boys.
I guess, yeah. Curly Bill Brocious seemed to be the leader of this super weird late night activity, and City Marshal Fred White ran over to him demanding that Curly give up his gun. Wyatt came up behind Curly to restrain him, and White attempted to get the gun out of Curly's hand. In this scuffle, the gun discharged, and a bullet hit White in one of his testicles.
Nut shot.
Got shot in the balls. The next day, unfortunately, White would die from his injuries. Because of this, Curly Bill was set to go on trial for the killing. Okay, pin that. Pin Curly Bill going on trial, okay?
Okay.
November of 1880 brought about a new county sheriff election. The Republican side wanted Bob Paul to win, and he had the Earps backing him. The Democratic nominee was a man named Charles Schibel, and he was backed by the Clantons and the McLaurys. In the San Simon district of the county, a man named Ike Clanton, we know him, worked as a voting inspector.
Little rigged election, I think.
Well, when the votes from that district came in, there were 103 for Schibel and 1 for Paul. Didn't even try to make it look close. With Curly Bill set to stand trial, Wyatt Earp visited him and presented a deal. If Curly were to tell Wyatt who rigged the election in San Simon, Wyatt would testify that the shooting and killing was an accident. Curly agreed to this, and he admitted that Ike Clanton had stuffed the election boxes. Because of this, Wyatt did give testimony in Curley's trial, and partially because of that, Curley was found not guilty of murder. So a little quid pro quo.
Yeah, I just go, it's probably a little sketchy on both sides, right? I think Wyatt is painted as this big old hero, but I think he was doing just as much dirty shit as the other boys. When you think about it, those guys probably rigged that election over there.
Yeah.
It was very obvious that they did, but they didn't have any proof. So to get proof, they get a guy that's in jail on trial
For murder.
to go, hey, if you say that he did this for sure, we'll go easy on you.
Yeah.
To get what Wyatt wants, he bends the law a little bit too.
A little bit, but if the shooting went down as it was presented, then it really does sound like an accident. Yeah, he was acting a fool out in the street with the gun, but if the gun was being pulled out of his hand and it discharged, then to me it does have a pretty good case of being accidental.
Look, I know things were willy-nilly back then with firearms, but if you accidentally shoot somebody,
It's still murder.
you probably shouldn't have a gun.
Yeah, that too. Mid-December, Wyatt's prized horse went missing, and thanks to a tip, he found Billy Clanton riding around on his horse. So quick summary, we have the McLaurys stealing mules, Ike Clanton rigging elections, and now Billy Clanton stealing a horse.
From an Earp.
Yes, yep. The next year, in the summer of 1881, Wyatt did something super unexpected by enlisting the help of Ike Clanton to find two other cowboys who were involved in the attempted robbery of a stagecoach. Nothing comes of this, as the men who attempted to rob this stagecoach were later shot and killed, but the idea of this super brief alliance caused Ike to become very paranoid. He did not want people finding out about this because he technically turned on fellow cowboys.
Yeah, I guess. But also, they're doing bad things. So,
Well, so is he.
yeah, every man's got his limits, though, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe they killed some kids, and maybe Ike wasn't for that.
Maybe.
I'm making huge assumptions here, but
Yeah, well, a big enough reward will cause a man to think differently about any of his, law-breaking stuff.
yeah.
Ike became so worried about Wyatt telling people about this that one night he confronted Wyatt and asked if he had told Doc of this alliance. Wyatt says that he never told anybody, but Ike is kind of out of his mind and he's a bit relentless on this. Finally, Wyatt actually had to summon Doc to confirm his story.
Which is suspicious as all get out anyway. Doc, will you tell Ike I didn't say shit to you? He's like, what are we talking about?
Yes, I know.
Well, what the hell did you do with Ike? This is my first question when I walk away with Wyatt.
Yeah.
If I'm Doc.
Yeah, but it seemed to work. It calmed Ike down enough. October 25th of 1881, just a few days after this interrogation of sorts, Doc ran into Ike at a restaurant, and Doc was drunk, and he was looking for a fight. He started antagonizing Ike, poking a bit. He was mad at Ike for, one, assuming that Doc would ever betray Wyatt if Wyatt had told him a secret, and two, that Ike would betray his own friends. It was very much that Ike wasn't going to win in this conversation.
Yeah.
Ike was also known to be a pretty heavy drinker, and he would frequently make, kind of threats and just big dog gotta bark, talking about the Earps and Doc. So both of them being a drunken mess together, they say a lot of words. Nothing happens though. Doc eventually left him alone. Ike would continue on though. He would continue his drinking, and now he was riled up from this conversation. Ike actually confronted Wyatt, who was just playing a game of Pharaoh, trying to pick a fight with him. He's all sorts of revved up. He's just looking for a reason now.
Which Pharaoh's a card game from back in the day.
Oh, yes, it is. Thank you for specifying that. Yeah.
Yeah. Wyatt was a dealer, right?
I did not see that, but
Thought he set up a little gambling establishment.
he did have a stake in a gambling establishment. It wasn't necessarily pertinent to the story, but that is true, yes.
Yeah, so he could have been playing or he could have been dealing.
Yeah, that was also Doc Holliday's favorite card game.
I bet it was. It's easy to win when your friend's dealing the cards. I know he gets glorified, and he is a badass of a man, and this whole story is so cool. But at the same time, it's the Wild West, and I know everybody's fucking greasy over there.
A little bit, yeah. Okay, but Ike, he was looking for a fight. He went and tried to engage with Wyatt. Wyatt wasn't having anything to do with this, though. He wasn't looking for a fight. He didn't give a shit. He essentially told Ike, go home, you're drunk. He actually even said to Ike that he didn't want to fight him because there was no money in it. Quote, go home, Ike. You talk too much for a fighting man. End quote. Ike did not, though. He did not go home to sleep this off. He continued until the next morning. Pulled an all-nighter. He's on a binge. And the next morning, he got his shotgun and his pistol, and he began parading the streets, yelling, quote, as soon as the Earps and Holliday appear, the ball will open. We're looking for those sons of bitches.
Or has been dated.
So has he declared. Virgil, Wyatt, and Doc were all warned of his activities, talking about, if I see him, I'm going to kill him, essentially. Virgil was woken up and told this, and he just went back to bed. He was like, he'll sort himself out. It's fine. Wyatt was told of this and didn't really do anything. When Doc was told of this, he was quoted as saying, if God will let me live long enough, he will see me. End quote. Talking about Ike.
Jamie is glowing at any opportunity to make Doc Holliday look badass. She is in love with him.
Oh, I don't have to make him look badass. He just was badass. I'm your Huckleberry. That's just my game. You're a daisy if you do. I can quote Doc Holliday all day. God love him. Now, lest we forget, speaking of my man, my baby, my love, he has TB. Mm-hmm. He truly did not give a shit if he lived or died. He knew he was going to die.
Yeah. Tuberculosis, consumption, a lunga.
Yeah, he did not give a shit. So he was just like, well, fuck it. If I'll live, Ike will see me. I'll get him. Virgil runs into Ike around noon. Ike is still somehow conscious. Drunk and angry, he is still roaming the streets. But Virgil runs into him and says, quote, I hear you're looking for some of us, end quote. Then proceeds to bash him over the head with a revolver. So Virgil put Ike to sleep.
Yeah. Probably threw him in jail to sleep it off.
Kind of. Virgil, with the help of Morgan, dragged Ike to the local courtroom where he would be dealt with. Wyatt was there in the court, and as Wyatt was leaving, he ran into Tom McLaury. The two had something of a heated argument, and it ended with Wyatt just slapping Tom around and throwing him out into the street. That same day, Billy Clanton and Frank McLaury, so the brothers of the two men who just got smacked around, came into town and were told of what had happened. They were, in my opinion, rightfully so, they were very upset about this. They were agitated that their brothers had both been made to look like bitches by the Earps.
Well, one brother for sure was acting like an idiot for a whole night and morning.
Yes. Yeah, no, that is true.
I mean, he got what he deserved. The other one, I don't know.
Yeah, don't know the exacts of what happened between.
Wyatt might have just wanted to backhand somebody for fun.
Yeah.
He was getting threatened all night. He needed to slap somebody, get some anger out.
Yeah, fuck it. Your friend threatened me. I'm punching you.
It's the wrong day, sir.
Yeah. They were mad either way. And they went looking for Ike, who had since been released from the courthouse with just a fine. And he was now having his head looked at by the doctor. Before we get into the shootout, it is important to note, I believe it was just about 6 months before we have this shootout. Weapons had been banned in the town of Tombstone unless you had a written permit. So there were a few ways that you could carry around a weapon, but I mean, I'm talking everything from knives to guns was you could not have them if you were just a regular person in this town. With that disclaimer, Virgil, Wyatt, Morgan, and Doc found Tom, Ike, Billy, and Frank in a vacant lot, and they began walking over towards the Cowboys, claiming that they were just going to disarm them.
Yeah, so the Earps were like, okay, well, we're going to head over, so be ready for a fight. Hopefully we don't have one.
Yes.
It's kind of the thing. Like, we don't want to fight, but we want to make sure we go over there knowing that they have weapons and we need to get them.
Yeah, it's tricky for me to say because what happened next is it's subject to discourse. Every person involved and all the witnesses each had their own reason to, they picked a side. Was it based in law? Was it just because you've been running your mouth and I'm tired of it?
Was it politics?
There are so many different reasons that each side and even the witnesses, why they said what they said. So, it's a bit fuzzy. I think it's very much a situation where in the middle is the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Since Virgil was the ranking officer of the group, he walked into the vacant lot where the Clantons and McLaurys were and said, quote, "Boys, throw up your hands. I've come to disarm you," end quote. Billy Clanton then said, quote, "Don't shoot. I don't want to fight," end quote. Wyatt then allegedly said, quote, "You sons of bitches have been looking for a fight and now you have it," end quote.
One of your boys did run around saying he wanted to kill him.
Yeah, walking around with a shotgun and a pistol talking about killing them? Yeah, not a good look.
Yeah, I think that might have been a bit of projecting, though. I think he did what he thought was the right thing, the better thing. Like, Virgil was like, we'll just knock this guy out and shut him the hell up.
Yeah.
And it worked.
Yeah.
But I think there was a little pent-up shit, and Wyatt's all like, we should have fucking just taken care of him back then.
Yup.
And now Wyatt's like, here's a fucking reason. I've been waiting for a goddamn reason for you.
I agree. I do agree with that. What happened next is nothing short of mayhem. 30 seconds. 30 seconds and 30 rounds. Billy Clanton shot Virgil through the shoulder and Morgan through the leg. Frank McLaury grazed Doc's hip with a bullet. Ike, Mr. Running around the streets with my shotgun and pistol, fled the scene.
Ran like a little biznatch.
Him and another cowboy, Billy Claiborne, they both took off as soon as it started. Frank McLaury, 33 years old, and Tom McLaury, 28 years old, lay dead. Along with them was Billy Clanton, 19 years old. Doc had killed Tom with a shotgun to the stomach, and potentially also Frank with a shotgun to the chest and then his head, though Wyatt may have also been the one to shoot Frank in the head. Virgil, Morgan, and Doc were all treated by the doctor, and Wyatt was the only one who escaped unharmed, who didn't flee, because Ike's a bitch and he fled.
Yeah.
The next day, October 27th, an inquest was immediately started, and what followed was a month of back and forth. He did it. No, he did it. But ultimately, it was decided that the Earps and Doc, who had been accused of murder, were innocent.
Yeah, it's hard to accuse the law of murder.
Yeah, we still see that today.
Yeah, we see that out here all. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo.
This is America.
Hiding behind a badge, that shit happens. Hey, there's a lot of good ones out there, but there's a lot of shitty ones too.
The judge said, quote, "I cannot resist the conclusion that the defendants were fully justified in committing these homicides," end quote. I mean, for half the town, it was very much like a sigh of relief. Like, thank God these cowboys are done being assholes in the street. And for the other half, it was very much of hiding behind a badge. You guys are waving your big law dicks around and getting away with killing workers, cowboys. So
yeah, I think from the little bit that I know about Western towns is there seemed to be a big thing between lawmen and these kind of built up towns when they build up and they get money. And they attract a lot of like hoodlums and people kind of taking advantage and like using scare tactics to make money off of people who were making money off of mines. These guys would come in and it's the Wild West. There's no law. You can make something of yourself. And some people took that as, I can go in and run a friggin' town. Yeah. I don't need a badge. I'm going to run this thing. I'm going to use fear. Mm-hmm. And people were making money that way and they liked that. And then as law spread across the land, there was a lot of pushback on, hey, we're free out here. We're doing what we like out here.
Yeah.
But really, it was a lot of gangs and bad men that were oppressing a lot of small towns that were wealthy towns. And it wasn't until law got in there that it straightened shit out. So I do think there's definitely a lot of gray areas in law back in the day. Mm-hmm. But it was one of those like necessary evils because a lot of places were just run rampant with criminals. Like had mayors in their pockets. It was crazy the shit that happened back in the day.
Yeah. Well, the other thing that we see a lot of back in the Wild West is vigilante justice, right? You know, I feel wronged by this, so here's this, and so on and so forth. And that is that is the rest of our story, essentially, is the fallout from this shootout. With the Earps and Holliday essentially acquitted of murder, the Cowboys, they vowed revenge. You know, you killed my friends, you killed my brother, I'm gonna fucking get you back. And that's exactly what happened. December 28th of 1888, so a little around 2 months after this shootout, Virgil was ambushed and shot. He was shot in the arm so badly that he was left permanently crippled by this. The exact shooter or shooters are technically unknown, but it is widely speculated and believed by me personally to be Ike Clanton or someone close to him, another member of the Cowboys. January 17th, 1882, just a few weeks after Virgil shot, Johnny Ringo, another cowboy, confronted Wyatt and Doc demanding a shootout.
Johnny Ringo. If you've seen the movie, you get it.
Oh, so good. Wyatt rejected this confrontation, but Doc simply replied, quote, "I'm your Huckleberry. That's just my game." End quote.
Jamie's face is over here. She is over here just cheesing it up in love with Doc Holliday.
Am I blushing? I feel like I'm blushing.
Your whole face is red, yeah. All right, get on with it.
Okay. Officers separated the men before anything could actually happen, though. March 18th, 1882, Morgan was playing some pool at a saloon when he was also ambushed. He was shot in the back, which paralyzed him instantly, and within the hour, he had died. While, again, no one is confirmed to have been the person who killed Morgan, it is widely believed that Ike, Curly Bill, and two other men named Frank Stillwell and Florentino Cruz were behind this murder.
But Morgan does have a quote on record, right? Everything getting dark or something?
There's a few different quotes for his last words, but one of them is, "I can't see a damn thing." Which
makes the hair stand up on my arms.
Break my fucking heart, dude.
Yeah, you're dying and you're just like, I can't see a damn thing. And then boom, out. Lights out. For real.
That is, yeah, fucking horrid. Horrid if that's true. 2 days after Morgan was murdered, Wyatt and Warren Earp, another brother, Doc Holliday, Turkey Creek Jack Johnson, and Sherman McMasters escorted Virgil and Virgil's wife to the railway.
Was Warren the older brother? Because Virgil was the second born. I'm wondering if he was an older or a younger.
He was the youngest brother.
Okay.
He was the youngest of all the boys.
What happened to the first boy? Did he die of cholera?
I don't know. I didn't look into him.
On the Oregon Trail.
Dysentery.
Yeah.
While there at the train station, Wyatt saw Frank Stillwell and Ike Clanton with guns. He assumed that they were there to finish it off and kill Virgil and Virgil's wife. The next day, Frank's bullet-riddled body would be found.
Wonder how that happened.
Yeah, weird. Because at this point, Wyatt had just been made a U.S. Marshal as well. So back to potentially hiding behind the badge.
Oh, his revenge ride was 100% him using power of being a marshal to go exact revenge. That's 1,000% what he did.
Yeah. Ike Clanton had once again fled, and he was not harmed. This killing was just the beginning of what would become known as Earps' vendetta ride. Unable to return to Tombstone because of arrest warrants for all the men, they then instead set off to avenge the murder and the maiming of Wyatt's brothers. The posse went to a man named Pete Spence's house to look for him, as it was believed he had been involved in Morgan's death. But what they didn't know was that Spence had turned himself in, thinking he would be safer with the police than he would against the Earps. They instead found Florentino Cruz, the man who I mentioned earlier was highly suspected of being involved with Morgan's death. And Cruz allegedly, because we only have one side of the story, he allegedly admitted to acting as the lookout during Morgan's shooting. Wyatt killed him. 2 days later, the Vendetta posse found a group of cowboys, one of whom was Curly Bill. In the ensuing shootout, Wyatt killed Curly Bill and another cowboy named Johnny Barnes.
The walking across the river? Is that what just happened there?
Yes.
Okay, that was the river. Why did you leave that out?
I don't know, because...
Okay, there's a scene in the movie where Wyatt Earp is basically, they're like pinned down on opposite sides of a river. And when he's going to kill these two guys, he just basically like hits the fuck it switch and starts walking at them across the river, like out in the middle of the open. Mm-hmm. And as they're shooting at him, he's just saying no over and over and over again and ends up killing them.
No.
Yeah, he just refuses to lose this battle. Yeah. And it looks like they're probably going to lose the battle, but I think he kills those two guys and a bunch of other guys run off.
Yes, something. They all fled.
And that is a 100% true story.
Yeah.
Like, he is cited as just walking out in the middle of the river being like, no, and just fucking badassing his way into winning that battle. It's a moment. It's good. If you have not seen Tombstone, for the love of everything good in this world, watch that movie.
Tombstone is actually pretty damn accurate.
Yeah, it's pretty accurate. Yeah, they do a really good job.
Yeah. But in a way that it's not accurate is with the death of Mr. Johnny Ringo. Johnny Ringo is the one who tried to do the shootout with Wyatt and Doc was like...
He's like, I got you.
That's my game.
Yeah.
I'm your Huckleberry. Yeah. Johnny Ringo was found propped up against a tree with no shoes on and a gunshot wound to the head. It was officially ruled as suicide. Wyatt would later take responsibility for this killing, but there was also another man who took responsibility for this shooting. It is believed that Wyatt and Doc were involved with this man's death, but it is not confirmed in any way, shape, or form, so throwing it out there.
Yeah, and they couldn't be too obvious about it being just a revenge killing, which it obviously was.
Yeah, it's literally called the Vendetta Ride.
Yeah, like it was, they tracked down these cowboys with the sole purpose of just eliminating them from the earth because they had something to do with ambushing them. Mm-hmm. So whether you actually pulled a trigger or not, if you were part of this gang, you were going down.
Yeah. After this, though, the Vendetta Ride was disbanded and the men separated. Ike Clanton left Tombstone and moved to another part of Arizona where he continued being a cowboy and stealing cattle and living on the wrong side of the law. May 31st, 1887, he was shot and killed by a constable at either 39 or 40 years old.
It'll catch up to you eventually.
Mm-hmm, and it did. Doc Holliday, the love and light of my life, moved to Colorado, where he kind of bounced around in there. He lived in Denver, Leadville, and Glenwood Springs, so he was moving around looking for that dry Rocky Mountain area, you know? Unfortunately, though, his health, it continued to get worse. For the last 57 days of his life, Doc lived in Glenwood Springs, and on November 8th, 1887, he requested a glass of whiskey, loved it, looked down at his bare feet and said, quote, "This is funny," end quote. Then he died at just 36 years old. The quote, "This is funny," is because when he looked down at his bare feet, he always thought he would die in his boots in a gunfight. So it was a little bit of dark humor, irony that he was dying with nothing on his little feetsies.
Yeah, it was just, he probably always told people that, like, oh, I'm dying in my boots.
Yep.
That's a man that the lifestyle did not catch up with him.
No.
I mean, tuberculosis is what took him out, and that took out a bunch of people, but that dude really did everything in his power to die earlier.
Yeah.
And did not. He drank himself stupid.
He smoked.
Look, I am not
Dochologist.
I am not a Doc Holidayologist, but I thought that boy was living life to the fullest.
Oh, he knew he was going down. I mean, fuck it.
He was not scared of anybody. He'd get in any gunfight. Give him a reason. Mm-hmm. Give him a reason to live on the edge and feel alive because he knew he was dying. That's how he approached life. Yeah. He's like, give me a fucking reason to get some adrenaline going. I need this.
Yeah.
Because I ain't got many chances left.
Unfortunately, and about 109 years before I was born, my spiritual heart broke when he died, you know?
Yeah, your soulmate.
My soulmate from a different soul. Tragic. Virgil Earp went on to California, where he worked as a railroad agent, opened a detective agency, and even became a constable. He was also elected the first marshal of Colton, California. So he continued on with lawman career, you know?
Even with a bum arm.
Yep, they described his arm as maimed, which, yuck. Yuck, bad injury.
Yeah, I wonder what it looked like.
Yeah, I don't know. He moved to Cripple Creek, Colorado, and then eventually back to Arizona. Why are you looking at me like that?
Little on the nose, isn't it? That the guy with one arm moves to Cripple Creek.
He had both arms. One was just a little
one was just
bonky.
lame. Yeah.
Yes, Cripple Creek. He received a letter in 1898 that actually reunited him with his first wife. They didn't date or anything. He was still married, but they kept a relationship until his passing. He actually formed a relationship with his 2 grandchildren from this. So pretty cool.
Yeah, nice.
Pretty cool. Finally, after moving around some more, he ended up in Goldfield, Nevada, where in October of 1905, he died of pneumonia at 62 years old. Wyatt was the last surviving Earp brother and the last surviving person from this shootout. He moved around a lot with his partner Josephine, from Denver to California to Arizona to Alaska. He was all over the place.
But wait, before you go on, what happened to Warren?
Warren Earp? I don't know. I didn't look into him. He was on the Vendetta ride, but he wasn't in the shootout, and today we're talking about the shootout.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, last Earp brother from the shootout. Did you say that? Last Earp brother or the last?
No, he was the last surviving Earp brother, period.
Yeah, so what happened to Warren?
I don't know. You want me to look real quick? Yeah, okay.
We could see. He lived longer than Wyatt.
No, he did not.
Oh. Did he die on the Vendetta ride?
Nope, he died after the Vendetta ride. He got into a drunken fight, and...
Classic Earp.
Yeah, and he was shot to death in 1900, so about... Oh, shit. I can tell you, he died about 29 years before Wyatt did.
He Clantoned himself.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Spouted off drunk and got shot.
Yes, sir. That's exactly what happened.
Okay, back to Wyatt Earp. Yeah.
Yes, so last surviving Earp brother, last surviving person, moved all over the country, essentially. He finally ended up in Los Angeles, California, where he actually befriended several early Hollywood stars. One of them you will at least have heard of. January 13th, 1929, he died at age 80 from a UTI that had spread to his bladder. So, friends, take care of your UTIs.
Dude, antibiotics are such a,
miracle?
Yeah, they're beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so friends all over, men, women, take care of your UTIs. Just take care of your health. William Hart and Tom Mix were pallbearers at his funeral. Any of those names sound familiar?
Yeah, isn't it Tom Minks?
Mix.
Who's Tom Minks?
No idea. But Tom Mix is the name that you should recognize.
I do recognize Mix, but I thought it was Minks.
Nope. Never has been. Tom Mix.
Yeah, Tom Mix.
Do you remember what we know him from?
I'm going to guess we're in like the 1920s.
1929.
It's definitely the MGM episode. Eddie Mannix.
It is not.
No?
No, it is Wineville. Wineville Chicken Coop.
Oh, that's who the kid who pretended to be Walter Collins wanted to go visit.
Yep, he wanted to meet Tom Mix.
Ah.
Because he played a cowboy. He was like a cowboy actor in the 20s.
Very cool.
Yeah, so Tom Mix was one of the pallbearers for Wyatt Earp.
Yeah. What was the name of that kid?
Fuck.
Your eyes went about as wide as mine would have if you asked me that question. I
Yep,
can't remember.
No fucking idea.
It wasn't Walter Collins, I'll tell you
Sure
that.
was not. Go listen to that episode, guys. Tell us his name. Tell us the kid's name. This gunfight has been immortalized by shows, books, paintings, but most importantly, to me, films, specifically Tombstone.
That the legendary Val Kilmer, rest his soul,
Yes. I could weep right now just thinking about it.
played the epic Doc Holliday.
Had me falling in love with a dead man. P.S. Tombstone featured Val Kilmer, Kurt Russell, who is another one of my favorites, and Sam Elliott.
Yeah, I love Kurt Russell. Val's good. Kurt Russell's a freak. I love that dude.
God love him. That is the story of the shootout at the OK Corral.
You just stopped at Sam Elliott. That was a star-studded
Yeah, it
cast.
had like Billy Bob Thornton and
Bill Paxton was the young brother.
Who's Bill Paxton?
Twisters.
Oh!
He was the younger brother.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, Billy Bob Thornton.
Star-studded cast. Phenomenal fucking movie. I cried when Doc died. Just chef's kiss top to bottom. I'm gonna end this with a little fun fact. This shootout did not take place at the OK Corral.
Yeah, where did it take place?
In a vacant lot, like behind the corral. But it wasn't at the corral.
Yeah, but the OK Corral was the closest thing to it.
There was a boarding house closer to it. C.S. Fly's boarding house.
Shootout at C.S. Fly's boarding house? Doesn't sound as good.
Doesn't quite have a ring.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a boarding house and a photography studio. Doesn't have quite the same ring as the OK Corral.
Get a headshot and your headshot.
Leo, that was really clever.
Sorry I interrupted you for that.
No, you're fine. That was good. That was worth interrupting. But that is the story of the shootout at the OK Corral. Thoughts, views, and opinions?
Fantastic. A story that I know a little bit of, mostly from the movie, and researching it after the movie, just because, I wanted to see how much of the movie was real. But yeah, finding out that a lot of it was real, and it's a amazing story, a fun revenge ride. It's very much just Old West and that gritty Western justice going on.
I know, it's so fun.
It's not exactly super lawful, but it's what's quote unquote right. You know what I mean? Doing the right thing.
Yeah.
I mean, if it was your family getting harassed like that and you had the ability, I'm pretty sure all of us in this situation back in the day would have done the same fucking thing. We're shutting these people down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't come after my family. Yeah. I'll take out all your buddies.
Well, regardless of the fact that you've seen the film, I hope you and our friends and listeners learned something new today.
Yeah, and if you have not seen the film, I've said it already, but go watch that damn movie. It's so good. It's so good. You want to see America back in the day? You want to see the old Western stuff?
Oh, it's so good. All right, friends. Well, I think with that glowing recommendation, we'll end it here. You guys can follow us on Instagram or send us an email, both of which are linked in the show description below.
You can always check out our website, pick up some merch on the store,
and
do all the rating, comment,
sharing, subscribing,
do all the things. Insert call to action here.
Very.
But yeah, guys, thanks for hanging out. Hooray for a year. Awesome.
Yay for a year.
One solid year of weekly episodes. We've done it for a whole year, and that's a lot more than a lot of other people can say. So I'm pretty proud of us for that. I think, Jamie, thank you for making all of this, doing all the research and putting all these shows together. I love doing this every week, and yeah, I just love hearing these stories and getting to hang out and do this. It's super fun.
Well, I mean, first and foremost, cheers to a year. Cannot wait to see what the next year has. And if we're giving out snaps and claps here, snaps and claps to you for being our editor. I mean, you listen to me yap away, and then you have to sit there and continue listening to it as you edit it. So thank you for that.
Yeah, maybe one day I'll become a really good editor, but for right now, I get her done.
Oh, hush it. Well, guys, thank you so much. Thanks for a year. Thanks for today. Thanks for last week. And thanks for next week when we will see you again for another episode of The Darchives.
Yep, and here's to another year.
Whoop, whoop.
All right, we'll see you guys.
Goodbye. Forever crying that I didn't have the chance to be with Doc Holliday. My soul yearns for the lunger.
For the lunger. What's your favorite quote from the movie?
Why, Johnny Ringo, you look like someone just walked over your grave.
That's funny because in the same scene is my favorite line, which is no, because that was a different scene.
Okay, sorry.
You're talking about the scene when they're about to do the gunfight, right? When he comes around the tree, he goes, "You look like somebody just walked over your grave." Yeah. Same scene. I think it's just a little further in. He goes, he says something like, I owe you this gunfight or something.
Oh, yeah.
And he goes, Johnny Ringo goes, I was just fooling. Doc. And Doc goes, I wouldn't. I'm just all like, oh,
goosies.
Yeah, no, that's my favorite thing. The whole, like, I was just fooling. I wouldn't.
That's my man. That's my love.